Well, Dr. leading climate scientists have warned that not enough is being done to save the environment, and time is running out. Valeria Merino is Vice President of Global Earth Day. She attended the conference and joins us live from Berlin. So, Valeria, you were there. The conference has been described as divided and controversial. Is it really the richest against the smallest countries? And give us your accurate description of what you experienced there.
I think the conference is pretty overwhelming. There is, I will say, two really types of meetings going on, the meetings of the negotiators and the meetings that everybody else is attending, which are more panels and conference, which you learn about what people are thinking about doing. But I think the core thing to have a better understanding of what is going on in there is to focus on the signals and not in the noise. So some countries and businesses and others are giving very clear signals of what has to happen to overcome what the report from the IPCC is saying, and then some other groups are creating the noise. So for us in civil society, I think it's important to focus on the signal. And in the case of China, obviously in other big blocs and leaders, they have to give the right signals, not only on the negotiation table, but then also in the execution.
What do you say to the criticism of the United States, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait for their refusal to accept a key climate change report that was released there?
But I can tell you that they are definitely part of the noise, creating a big noise in the wrong direction. And I think in the in the meetings that I have attended, the conversations that I had, there were reactions from complete disbelief to complete outrage that having the information that we have and having this report that was produced at the request of the parties to the agreement, then refuse to even recognize that the value of this report and then do not follow suit is something that is vexing for the majority of the people attending. And we really hope that other countries will take the lead to just write off that noise and overwhelm that noise with real commitments and with real signals that we are going to overcome climate change. Otherwise, this is a real disaster for the world.
So, Valeria, everyone says that agreements are easy to pass but hard to implement. What are some of the biggest sticking points that remain?
Of course, everyone in the South and the developing world wants this to be fair. So they do not want to, of course, cover the cost of all the changes that need to be made in their countries. But I have to tell you, there were some interesting developments over there. People in the Green Climate Fund were talking about a very positive process of replenishing the fund, which, as you know, is a commitment of $100 billion a year to support countries in the South to develop projects to deal with climate change. So that was a very good signal. Also, there were good signals for industries talking about how to change, for example, the entire car industry in the next 20 years and turn it into an industry that is zero carbon. And they had some very interesting plans and proposals to be made. I think, on the other hand, it felt a little bit like especially the nonprofit organizations, the civil society representatives, were basically in the building but not in the room. So we like to see better avenues of participation for civil society in the negotiations in the future. At the end of the day, what is being negotiated is going to affect every single human being on Earth. And we felt there was not enough voice of just regular people into this negotiation process.
So by the end of the day, yes or no, will there be consensus? Yes or no?
I think that consensus is going to be watered down a little bit. That's what everybody thinks. Whatever was expected out of this, there's negotiations in Poland in the last 2 months have changed quite a bit in the last 3 days. And we're going to have to see, what the text looks like at the end. We do not know right now inside information about where things are going to end up, but I think it's going to be much less than what we were expecting. And that is concerning, obviously, because the report that came from IPCC says you have to really reduce 45% of emissions by 2030. So if we are watering down the agreement instead of upping the ante, this is going to be bad for the world.
All right, Valeria Merino in Berlin, thank you for your insight.